Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Steve Westman, live Audiophile Roundtable. I forgot which one this was today. Been so busy today. We're going to be doing, of course, the Beatles, and we have Michael T in today. Here's my thumbnail. Sorry, I was looking at something else, but Meet the Beatles Mono Capitol review. We're going to talk Doors and much more. I mean, it was a big weekend. If you're if you're a Doors fan, the Rhino Hi-Fi Doors box set came out Friday. I think it was like 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or just after. Sold out by Saturday at midnight. So that's a new record for Rhino Hi-Fi. 3,000 units sold out by midnight on Saturday. I can tell you, talking to Patrick Milligan and some of the folks at Rhino, they're pretty excited and happy about that. Now, of course, I don't have the Doors box. Mine got delayed. I got a notice from Patrick that mine will be here Wednesday. So I'm excited about that. And if you're with Facebook, Rhino Hi-Fi's we've got a fan group called the Rhino Hi-Fi Fan Group. There's been a lot of posts on there, some reviews of the sound, and I'll get Michael in right away, and we'll talk about that. And let me grab Michael here. Michael, hi, thank you for joining us today. It was a big weekend, a lot going on. You and I were going back and forth on this whole Doors box and the sales. I mean, it was hot out of the gate. FOMO in full display for the Doors, the Doors box. So I mean. Did you buy one?
I didn't buy the box set. I'm going to get mine individually.
And that's probably in January those will come out. So you got a little bit of time there too. And you have Meet the Beatles. And I know, of course, November 22nd, Meet the Beatles, or the whole box set, the Capitol Mono box set came out. I've read a lot of reviews. There's been a lot of reviews on YouTube. So we'll get into that today as well. Yeah. Some exciting stuff there. So yeah, let's jump right into it. And again, guys, thanks for doing this today. I know my American viewers, early happy Thanksgiving. That happens on Thursday. Yeah. Do you have plans? Do you do like turkey with your family?
I'm actually gonna host it at my house this year. I haven't done it at my house for a while.
So my question is, being an audiophile, you're hosting this. What type of music do you play, Michael, during Thanksgiving?
Well, I don't want to get too Christmassy yet, but I was mentioning to you as we were starting, one of the records I'm probably going to play when I have guests over is the Royal Ballet. This is a great record.
I love it. I've got the SACD.
You have it? Yeah.
Beautiful.
I have 2 copies of this. I got another one recently, and I also have it at 45. But at 45, it's kind of, you got to be getting up every 7 minutes. So
we've never talked about 45 RPM on our show before, have we?
Yeah. The nice thing with this, it's a little pricier. It's $80 from Acoustic Sounds. The reason, though, is because of this. It's got a gorgeous...
That's beautiful.
25-page... Like, it's hard to even open. I barely opened this up, but there's...
Oh, yes.
Just gorgeous, yeah. This is just an example. So this was originally... This is one that Chad got from when he got Mike Hobson's classic records.
So that's a Bernie Grundman cut.
It's a Bernie Grundman cut, yes. It's look how gorgeous the jacket is, shiny.
Beautiful.
And the
$80. I remember during the pandemic, to pick that up, it was almost impossible to find on Discogs.
It was
sold out, or there were, hundreds of dollars for one copy.
Yeah, and I may go to this too. This is a great record too.
Yeah, I'm not
too much into Christmas, but this Fitzgeraldi's awesome too.
That looks like a very old copy though. It doesn't look like an AP copy.
I have an original, but this is an 80s copy of Fantasy. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good old
Fantasy. I'm not gonna play it this time. I'm gonna wait a little longer, but I also have this from Speaker's Corner.
Blue Christmas, Elvis.
Yeah. And I also have an original 1S.
So which one sounds better for the folks?
I haven't had time to compare them.
Home. Okay.
I don't know. It's going to be background music, so I don't know.
Audiophile Christmas shootouts. How would you like that? That'd be fun.
We should do that before Christmas. Yeah.
Speaking of that, it's Christmas. You see my Grinch shirt here? You got that?
Nice.
Okay. I've got, this is interesting. So my daughter and I watched the original Grinch, like whenever that came out in the 60s. Like I've got the old DVD from 20 plus years ago, right?
Yeah.
So we watched the Grinch, and there's that one song, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. It goes on halfway through the show, right? And I'm like, where is that voice? I've heard that voice before. The guy singing, I've heard that guy's voice before.
Who is it?
And so I'm like, I have to find out. And so it's one of those things. Now it's gonna really ruin everything for everyone going forward. It's definitely going to be one of these things now. Things that make you go, because when you listen to You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, when he sings the whole song and everything like that, there's a Grinch there, okay? It's the same actor, the same singer that plays. You get ready for this, and you'll hit it right away. Tony the Tiger from the Kellogg's Tony the Tiger.
I didn't know that.
I know. So here he is. Here, there he is. Thurl Ravenscroft. Okay, he was the animated spokesman for Tony the Tiger, and he also sang uncredited vocalist for the song "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" from Dr. Seuss's "How the Grinch Stole Christmas."
Nice. Is this the kind of stuff you do in your spare time? You look up this kind of stuff?
Tony Tiger is the Grinch, or vice versa. That just mind blows me now. It doesn't, it's like, anyways, now everyone's going to be like, oh, right. Makes sense.
Yeah, so maybe you listen to that while you eat Frosted Flakes. I don't know.
You could do that, yeah.
Yeah.
See, he's great. He's great.
Yeah. At Arlo Guthrie, Alice's Restaurant, another great Thanksgiving record.
Saw that, yeah.
I saw that.
And then
I
have the SA, I think it's the SA, yeah, I have the SACD of the Back to Mono, the Full Spectre Christmas. That's always been a good one. Boris. No, not Boris. It's Boris. I think Boris is the isn't he the narrator?
Boris Karloff was Frankenstein, wasn't he?
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, he wasn't in the Grinch, but it's not. Yeah, anyways, but who sang "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch"? The actual song is that fella here. What's his name again? Thurl. What's his name? Thurl Ravenscroft. So he sang the song, but there was another. The guy that narrated, it was a different voice altogether. But he
lived
sang
to be 91 years
91, and you go on. Crazy. Look at this. What did he do here? So he did voiceover work and singing for Disney, Disneyland attractions, the Haunted Mansion, Country Bear Jamboree, Mark Twain Riverboat, Pirates of the Caribbean, Disneyland Railroad, Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. Think about that. The guy had quite a career.
Pirates of the Caribbean, A Pirate's Life for Me. Yeah.
His voice acting career began in 1939 and did it till he died 91 years old in 2005. There he is. Tony the Tiger and the Grinch.
By the way, I want to thank people. To remind me, I need to pull out my Arlo Guthrie, Alice's Restaurant. I forgot about that.
You need to pull that out. Well, everyone's saying that. Here's Tony.
Alice, I see it again. Yeah.
He just died.
I have a couple copies of that.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of an artist.
Yeah, Sporo. Yeah, he narrates it, but the singer is, like I said, is Thurl. So again, the same voice for Tony the Tiger is the same fella that sings "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" in that same cartoon. That's what I'm trying to get at. Things that make you go, right? There you go. What's this? The Wax is saying, in the Jerry Seinfeld movie, Ravenscroft is played by Hugh Grant. There you go.
Interesting.
Well, Wax is a big movie guy, so he probably even knew that, but I didn't know that. I didn't know Tony the Tiger and the Grinch, guy that sings the Grinch song, is the same person. Well, that's pretty good.
By the way, there's also, as part of Verve Acoustic Sound Series, and also from Vinyl Me Please, they issued a Ella Fitzgerald Christmas record that sounds really great.
Okay.
Yeah, cut by Ryan Smith.
Is anyone any of the viewers? Do you guys do a lot of Christmas records? Are you buying more this year than last? Are you doing that? Is that something you guys get into?
Are you saving up for that Mariah Carey MoFi, Steve?
Mariah Carey MoFi. When does that come out? That's December. You said it was like shipping December 10th or something. It was pretty late.
Or 13th. Which is crazy. By the time you get it to your house, it's going to be almost Christmas.
All you want for Christmas is Mariah Carey's One Step, and you're not going to get it. So who's asking? Mac, evening, gents. Did you receive your Rhino package, Beatles and Doors set, Steve? Okay. So my Doors set, Patrick Milligan emailed or texted me, sent me the tracking info. I get that from LA directly Wednesday afternoon. I'll get my Doors box. So I'm excited about that. I didn't buy the Beatles package, but I did order the Beatles 65 through Amazon, and I got an email today saying, Mr. Westman, it's not going to be here until sometime between December the 5th and the 10th or something. So that's delayed. Again, here in Canada, there's a postal strike. There's couriers and everything. It's taken a lot longer to get records and obviously packages to people here in Canada. So it's a little bit of a pain, that's for sure. But it'll come. I mean, I'm excited to get it. And I know there's been a few going to the Doors right now. I mean, the Facebook Rhino Hi-Fi group. Actually, there was a fellow that did a quick little review, and I'm going to read this here. I have it right here, Michael. Mm-hmm. So this is Mohab. He got the Doors box here. This is on the Rhino High Fidelity fan club on Facebook. He said he had to start with L.A. Woman. So he's bookending this one. He's starting with the last one, L.A. Woman, end of the book. Couldn't wait. He says you have to crank it up, even though it's hot, flat, quiet, acoustic strings, well detailed, and naturally, especially in a low America, bass fast and tight. Jim's voice fills the room, and Hyacinth house. He sounds so mature for such a young guy. Delta Blues is such a joy, and Crawling King Snake. You can't stop that foot from tapping. Love it, huh? What a crescendo of the drums is another treat. The beat of the percussions and the wasp make your heart beat faster. He says, I wish Oliver Stone heard it before filming the movie. Ryder brought tears to my eyes, reminded me of college days, studying like a nut. What a masterpiece. Left me speechless. I wish I had this set up, as we can see it there, over 40 years ago. This is too emotional to go through all 6 albums in one evening. However, I really want to thank the maestro himself, Kevin and Rhino, for such a treasure and incredible achievement. It's quite the write-up.
Yes, it is.
I read that really quickly, but I mean, hopefully,
the big question on the Rhino group now is, when are the individual albums coming out? That's what I'm waiting for.
So that's January.
January, okay.
Yeah.
Are they coming out all at once or in order?
Don't know that. I don't even want to speculate. I just know it's going to be January.
Yeah.
And then numbered. Yeah, and from the same plates used for the box set. That's how that works. So exactly like ZZ Top, you know? Oh, he was here. There you go. Thank you. It was a great. I saw that today, Mahab, and I was like, man, I got to put this up here. Appreciate that. It was a great review. I probably didn't do it justice the way I read it, and I apologize for that. Just wanted to get through it quick. But yeah, Harry's going to buy LA Woman. Yeah, I mean, in January, you can buy LA Woman. Like I said, I'll have the box on Wednesday. If you're Canadian, you bought it from the Warner Canadian site. I think they don't ship until December the 10th or the 13th. Not sure, but you guys will get them. I know I've already had some people contact me. They were worried about didn't get a confirmation yet, but it will happen. They're busy. I mean, 3,000 units within less than 48 hours. It's a lot going on. Mm-hmm. And I know that, they've got their Black Friday special too. So I think they did really well from what I can tell. My conversations with Patrick, he had a pretty big smile on his face. So I think that means things went pretty well at Rhino, not just with their box set, with everything else that we're doing there. So it's not bad.
And people in California were getting them the next day. I saw.
Well, because they're coming right from the LA the LA distribution is right there. So
they were getting it on Saturday. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Can't believe it.
Now, we're all wondering though, how do they sound compared to the 2012 Doug Sax cuts?
So the Doug Sax, I mean, we're talking 45 RPM. That's what we're talking versus 33 RPM. So there's one, apples to oranges right there. So that's difficult. And number two, I've read areas too. Okay, Kevin Gray's mastering chain versus Doug Sax mastering chain, circa 2000 and is it 12 or 14?
2012. Yeah.
2012. I mean, we all know, and I know Kevin personally. I know he's invested a lot of money into his mastering chain, his equipment in the last, not even 10 years, but 5 years, not even 3 years ago. Like even last year, he's always upgrading his equipment and doing more and more. So that will be the debate. I guess it really is going to depend subjectively on your equipment. If you're spinning these records and doing an AB with the AP45 Doors, Doug Sax version versus the Kevin Gray Rhino Hi-Fi, 33 RPM, it's going to be subjective. I really think blind shootout, I think that would be a big thing.
On LA Woman, we just had a cut from Barry Grumman too, like 3 months ago, right? Maybe. Yeah. Fresh cut on LA Woman. So we'll see how that sounds too.
Nicole got hers on Sunday, so that's awesome. And you know what, too? If you guys in the comments, if anyone wants to just comment, I know I pulled Mohib's up there, but comment. Let me know. Let us know what you thought of your first thoughts of the Rhino Doors box set. I'm really curious to know on that one as well. And then KRW. How does the mastering compare to the Doug Sax and Bruce Spotnick set from Acoustic Sounds? Doug was a great man. Okay, so again, we don't, it's hard to say, but we'll have to see. But I will announce to everyone, and I did do this on the Rhino Hi-Fi page on Facebook. Do you want to, should I tell everyone the big news? Here we go. So this is happening on December the 6th, 5 o'clock. It will not be live, but it will drop at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, December the 6th. I'm having a conversation with the Doors engineer, Bruce Spotnick, of course, master engineer of the box set, Kevin Gray. It'll be myself and Rhino's A&R, Patrick Milligan. December 6th, 5 p.m. That'll be awesome.
That's what is that the week after? Is that next week?
A week Friday will be on. So I'll do it Friday. I'll have that conversation recorded on Friday afternoon during my lunch break from work. I'll download it when I get home. It'll be up by 5 o'clock, ready to go, and I'm excited about it. So it'll be a lot of fun to meet one of the guys that was in the room when he recorded that. So talk about artist intent, and I think I might even ask him that question in terms of artist intent. So when you listen to these test pressings of Rhino, is that what you guys intended to hear? Have it sound like? I mean, it'll put a, we'll know right away, and I'm sure he's pretty happy with the way they sound. I know Kevin, talking to Kevin this weekend, he's really happy with the Rhino box set, and he's really excited for everyone to get their copies. I can tell you that.
So if viewers have questions they want you to ask Kevin, can they shoot them to you real quick? Email them to you if anybody. Anybody has questions.
So Kevin, yeah. So I mean, if you just, I'll go back here. So Kevin and Doors engineer Bruce Botnick will be on the show. They're not going to be live, but if you guys have questions, just email me, stevewestman@rocketmail.com. I can put it in the comments. I mean, I can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to ask all the questions you guys, but put them up there, and I'll see what I can come up with as well. I've got a bunch of questions, and it just really depends on time and everything like that. I mean, a lot of, we'll see if Bruce is going to be talking a lot, then it's hard to really, I don't want to interrupt him. I don't obviously want to interrupt Kevin either, so we'll have to see. But yeah, it'll be fun. And then sometime before Christmas, back by popular demand, Michael, I've had a lot of viewers asking me, and he's coming back again for the year-end show, Mr. Steve Hoffman. He's going to do Steve Hoffman's top vinyl picks, and we're going to be talking the future of audiophile remastering and the master tape. That's going to be just before Christmas.
What tape is he holding up, that picture? Do you know?
I couldn't tell. I mean, yeah, I grabbed it off the internet, and sometimes when you copy those or save those pictures, it get all pixelated. I
know. I think it's Creedence Clearwater Revival, if I remember returning that picture. Yeah.
How do you know that?
I remember him posting a picture.
Yeah, I can't even see it. But anyways, that'll be around. It'll almost be a year to the first time he came on the show, if you recall that. So he's got to wait for his son to get back from school and set him up, and we'll have that show. And that will be a live show before Christmas time.
And on top of that, aren't you going to have Miles Scholl back on from Abbey Road too?
I'm going to have Miles Scholl. He was approved by Universal again because of this postal strike. Miles sent me a promo of the Cure's latest cut of the Cure, the double LP. He wanted me to listen to it first. Of course, I can't because of the postal strike, so I'm waiting on that as well, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
So let me get this straight. December, you're going to have Miles Scholl on from Abbey Road, Steve Hoffman, Kevin Gray, and Bruce Botnick.
There you go. And of course, Michael T.
All in 1 month.
Yeah. It's a busy month.
Insane.
It's funny because even I think it was like last December, the same thing happened. Everything sort of happened at once in December here, and like, oh my gosh. So yeah, so I'm really, really excited to listen, to talk to Bruce and really see the process. I mean, he's really the gatekeeper of these master tapes, right? I mean, did he supervise Kevin, or how did that work, in the studio? I'm curious.
And I really want to hear the story behind why they had to use the safety for the first Doors album. What happened?
Well, that's what you don't even have to email me that. Of course, that's the question I'm going to ask him as well. Yeah. So if anyone doesn't know already, it's a safety copy. The mastered copy of the Doors self-titled went missing in the 80s. Gone.
Mm-hmm. And it was in bad shape regardless, from what I understood, right? It was used so much.
Yeah. So this won't happen. I've been asked this a lot. Kevin and Steve Hoffman will not be on together. End of story.
Yeah. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. Not happening. I'll never ask. Not happening. There's neither one of them sees a point of it, if that makes sense, other than just for entertainment value for us, but they just don't see a point.
Yeah.
They feel their time is done. They did their thing and they're moving on. That's what happens.
It's been at least 10 years since I've worked together. So let's move on. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess our banner today, I had forgotten. I got all excited talking to you guys. I'm excited to make all these announcements as well. But I went through this weird little, you get these, in the middle of the night, if you get up, I woke up and I had this weird rabbit hole thing. And I went back and I like looking back like songs of the 80s and what was going on during, certain periods of time. Just, I don't know, like going down memory lane. So check this out. Pop charts, November 23rd, 85. Look at this. Starship, We Built the City, was number 1 on November 23rd, 85. And then Glenn Frey, You Belong to the City. Remember that song?
Mm-hmm. For the Miami Vice soundtrack, I believe.
I think so, yeah. And then Phil Collins and Marilyn Martin did a Separate Lies theme from White Nights. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Thompson twin.
Robert Plant did a song for White Nights, too.
Look at this. So Mr. Hart, the Thompson twins, Tears for Fears.
Heart Never.
Yeah. That crazy.
Part-time lover, Stevie Wonder. I remember that song.
That was a big song.
Yeah,
that was November 23rd, 85, and then
Head Over Heels. Yeah, that's a great song from.
Look at that. Part-time lover, be near. You Are My Lady, Freddie Jackson. Yeah. Olivia Newton-John, Soul Kiss, number 20.
Eddie Murphy, Party All the Time. I remember.
Look at that, yeah.
And then I had that.
And then David Foster did the the love theme from St. Elmo's Fire. Look at that. That was a good movie back in its day. So that was what was that? 85. And look at this, 88. We had Bad Medicine, Bon Jovi, number 1 in 1988, November 19th on the radio.
Yeah.
And a record that I have actually this day, I have the original, is the Escape Club's Wild Wild West. It's a great sounding record, and the whole record sounds great. It's an incredible sounding record and some great songs on it.
Yeah. Yep. That was cut by Vlado Meller. Yeah. That's also a
Kylie Minogue, The Locomotion, Desire by U2, Kokomo for the Cocktail soundtrack, The Beach Boys, Will to Power, Baby I Love Your Way. That was a good song. Kissing a Fool, George Michael, I can fall, or How Can I Fall, and then Look Away, One Moment in Time, Whitney Houston. Lots of good stuff. That was 1988.
That Will to Power was Baby I Love Your Way going into Freebird. It was a medley into Freebird.
That's right. That's crazy. So that was my rabbit hole, guys, the other night. I'm like, I don't know, I gotta, kind of funny, yeah. What's Cranberry Sauce says, lots of lousy music at that time. Well, it depends on your era, right? I mean, if you're, that way, I was young back then, so that was the songs of the day that I know were on the radio when I was in the car, either as a teen or as a 16-year-old or pre 16-year-old in the car listening to that stuff. That's
what happened to the Escape Club, Wild Wild West. Whatever happened to them?
I have that first record. I mean, it was one of those one-hit wonders, but the whole record, it wasn't a bad. It's not a bad record. I'm going to pull it out again and listen to it. It's not bad. Leland keeps asking me, what's the next UHQR? It's not The Who. It's not The Who. Let's leave it at that. It's not The Who. I know when Michael Fremer came on, he had sort of alluded to it or teased it. Might have been that. But I mean, unless my sources are completely off, which to this day have never been, then it's not The Who. That's for sure. But yeah, Cranberry Sauce is saying, fair point, but I was spoiled growing up in the 60s. See, I wasn't. I obviously grew up as a teenager and preteen in the 80s, so that's my era of music. But yeah, exactly. And that brings me to this. I know our banner was sort of Meet the Beatles. I mean, we got the Capitol cut. Bring that up there. Show the folks what you have there.
Oh, I decided to buy them one at a time because I don't care for the Beatles story. So I'm buying them one at a time. And this past weekend, I got the first one, Meet the Beatles. There it is, with a little hype sticker on the corner.
What's it say there?
The Beatles are coming. Replica of the original mono U.S. I'm reading backwards here. U.S. album.
Yeah.
Analog cut from the original.
Audiophile vinyl.
Mm-hmm. So these were pressed. These were all pressed, regardless of the box set or the individual titles. They were pressed at MPO in France, and they were cut by Kevin Reeves at East Irish Studio in Nashville. He used a Studer tape machine with a preview head, and he cut them on a Neumann VMS 70. Yeah, and these come, as we've already talked about, this reminds you of Rhino High Fidelity. They come with a replica of the tape box, of the US tape box.
Go for it.
Can you guys see that? Just like Rhino High Fidelity does.
Right. I'll put it up right there. That makes
it says on there, the Beatles of England.
Where do you see that? Oh, yeah.
Very top. And it says Capital Dexter, and then there's a code on there.
I like the bottom right. Digitally archived, 32-bit, 192K.
192, yeah. Look at that. Uh-huh. Now, here's the weird thing. Looking at these, can you bring it back up for a minute, Steve?
Yeah, hang on. Go for it.
I've been in a group where we're trying to figure out, look at the EQ. The low end.
Yeah.
EQ. So they don't specify the frequency, but they cut the EQ down by minus 11 dB, and they boosted the highs by plus 6 dB. They don't say what frequency at, though. So
maybe that wasn't common back in that time.
Yeah. So they really cut some low end to make the cuts for the U.S. market. Now, the other interesting part, I asked Miles Scholl about this. Look where it says pitch, LPI 155.
Yeah.
Pitch, LPI 150. Back then, they were cutting something called fixed pitch. They didn't have preview heads. So they would adjust the pitch based on the length of the record. And Miles told me one side A was 49 seconds longer. So they had to adjust the pitch for that.
Lacquer Masters were cut December 19th, 1963. Can you
And
imagine?
then it says on their New York copy, they must have made it for the East Coast.
I
New
see
York
that.
copy made
December
December
19th,
19th,
1963.
1963.
2 to 1. What does 2 to 1 mean? Made 2 to 1.
I'm wondering about that too. We're still trying to decode all this stuff. So interesting. So,
but I want everyone. I'm waiting for a YouTuber to do a review of the best, the AB sound of the Beatles story.
Yeah. They actually
I want to
made
hear an AB story of the Beatles story. An AB, come on, do the comparison.
They made a replica of the actual insert too. So this is they literally, they made a replica of the actual insert that was on the original Meet the Beatles. Here it talks about the stylus or needles you can buy that are good for playing these records. See that?
I love it.
Yeah. And here I have an original Meet the Beatles with me. I just happen to have one. Oh, everything just fell down. Anyway,
so I will.
My original.
So that's your original. When did that? So wait. So we know the masters are cut December of 1963. I think it was released sometime in February.
I think it was released in January.
January 64.
It was quick.
Okay. It was quick. Yeah.
So I'll give you for comparison. Sorry about that. My stuff just fell over. But let's look at the two side by side. How close do they look? Let me put.
I'll put you full here.
Covers.
So how close do they look? It's hard to see. You're glaring on your right hand. It's a glare.
I'm gonna try to do this.
But what I'm seeing right now, they pretty much tried to make it exactly the same. Is that what you're trying to get at?
They look very similar. One is a little more bluish, isn't it?
Okay. Well, I can't see the blue. It's the light's completely blocking.
And they also got. Let me grab these that fell again because I have so much stuff here. The font looks really similar too. Here's my.
Harry's saying the blue is much more blue tint.
This is my original copy.
Okay. Don't put your name on the new one, okay? Like that person did.
Oh, that belonged to Mary Bichelle. Look at that.
Hi, Mary.
Hey, Mary, if you lost this or you gave it to Goodwill or somewhere, I found
Can't see her name.
I know, but look at the font. The font.
Oh, hang on.
Here's the font of the original.
Let's see.
They actually.
Hang on. Put it back up. Put it back up. I want to see it again.
I'm gonna try to do it.
I didn't mean to.
I don't want to scratch up my new one. I'm trying to. Here's the new one.
So they really tried to replicate this exactly.
Yeah, it's almost exactly the same. So there's a good clean shot. There's the new one.
Yeah.
And hold on, I'm gonna hold it behind it. I don't want to scratch it up. Here's the other one.
So question. So I'm looking at the dead wax and the song grooves here. Is it pretty much the same? The same look?
It's not going to be because they do variable pitch now. They don't do. They have preview heads, so it's not going to be the same. Yeah. Plus, the new one has way more low end than the original does.
Well, that's the thing too. So the new Meet the Beatles. What I gather from listening to all the different reviewers on YouTube and reading a lot that this Meet the Beatles is like hot cut, or the whole box is a hot cut. It is.
Yeah, it's cut
it's really
loud.
Cut.
It's cut loud. Yeah, and more frequency. I also, I've only listened through it once, but I did notice on Middle Child, you could really hear the harmonica pop out on the new issue.
Which is interesting because I listened to my mono. This is my UK 2014. I mean, I can hear the harmonica, but I didn't realize. And I mean, again, listening and reading a lot of reviews, it's really some of those instruments really pop on the mono Capitol cuts that just came out. And, so the low end is better too, right?
Yes. And as you know, there was a guy named Dave Dexter Jr. who added reverb. So they got tapes from England, and then they made modifications to them for the U.S. market. Yeah.
So I think this is a good experiment because a lot of people are complaining about the remixes, right? Just keep it original. This might be a good way to say, look, I mean, this is the original Capitol tapes. They cut them hot. A lot of people are really excited about them. They sound great. And a little bit brighter than the mono, even the mono 2014. It's brighter than the monos, right? Even so, I read
and I'm seeing a comment, Steve, from Harry saying, "Harry, I hear stuff in the bass lines I've never heard before." So there's they cut off the bass. Harry's there you go.
Hang on,
right above. Yeah. I've noticed that too.
Yeah,
there's stuff in the bass.
And I read that today as well. The low end is just there. Everything pops, and the instruments are really stand out. And the way he cut it. Kevin Reeves is his name, right?
Yes.
Definitely cut it hot. I mean, this could be the next Bob Ludwig hot cut here of the Beatles box. Yeah. But I mean, this is the thing. It's cut this way because all of us now have better equipment. Back in the day when these first came out in 1964 through 65, 66, people had $5 record players are really crappy record players. So they produce these records and cut these records so they'd play at any type of record player. So now we're reaping the reward 60 years later of getting some really high quality stuff.
I did see a comment on
correct to say that
Discogs.
or think that?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
There was somebody on Discogs that mentioned, I think it was Beatles 65, that one of the songs, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, skipped on the new cut. And it's probably because it was cut so loud. He might have been using a cheap turntable, you know?
So it's the old RLSS Led Zeppelin 2 problem.
Yeah.
But these are definitely the new box set of the Beatles. If you're just tuning in, are cut hot. They're a little bit brighter and a lot more detail in a lot of the instruments, a little bit more better low end as well. And then on the Meet the Beatles too, I was reading that tracks 1 and 3, so that's I Want to Hold Your Hand and This Boy are true mono, where the other songs are full downs from the stereo tapes. Am I correct? Does it say that somewhere?
Yes, that's what I read too. Yeah. The other odd thing, a lot of the places like the In Groove or Acoustic Sounds only got between 2 or 3% of their orders filled.
And I wonder if that's a pressing issue because it's being pressed in France.
Amazon sold tons of them. Yeah. Retail stores got them, but they were very selective who they sent them to. They didn't go to the mail order places as much. But retail stores I've been to have them. And someone mentioned on Amazon, they're like 600. You know how Amazon lists how many are sold? They've sold.
I don't believe that. I think that's BS too. Like, 600 plus. I mean, they can put any number they up there. They can FOMO us all day long, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Harry was saying, yeah, they were sold in Amazon. I ordered my copies on Amazon, and they've delayed my. They were supposed to be shipped the same day, November 22nd, and I get an email saying they're delayed as well. So I'm, here in Canada, I have whatever. But I definitely am excited to get them now.
On the Beatles website, there's a Beatles website. They had when I went on, it says, click here for 10% off. Sign up for our email. Yeah. So would that mean you get it for $270? I mean, I'm not interested enough to buy it because of the Beatles story, but yeah.
And I haven't been to a record store here in Vancouver to see if they've got the Beatles out displayed. I just haven't had time to do that. You'd asked me that before.
I went to at least 3 record stores this past weekend in Seattle, Tacoma, and they all had it.
So now, question: were people buying it? What you noticed?
They all had at least one out. So some stores were sold out of the individual titles. Some only had one, left. Some had none left. So
yeah. So it's been popular then.
The individuals are selling. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's impressive.
Look at that. My store's distributor said her pre-orders were canceled because they were all shipped to Amazon. I see that in the comments. And that's what I heard too.
Who was that? Who said that?
Harry's Music Room.
Oh, Harry said that. They were sold to Amazon.
Yeah.
Good old Jeffrey Bezos is monopolizing on the Beatles. Jeez. So sounds to me like they've got a hit on their hands with this Beatles mono box set, the Capitol version.
And it's not numbered. It's going to keep going. I mean, they're probably going to be selling this for years and years.
Yeah, this is something that's going to be around. So, I mean, first batch, find you don't get, but I mean, they're going to be around for a while. I like the fact that it's a hot cut. I think that's great. The Beatles hot cut is phenomenal. Now, like I said, I'm waiting for an A/B of the Beatles story. Does the new one sound better than the original? We'll have to see.
I could hear a little more S on the vocals when I was hearing the interviews.
We'll have to see. No, I ordered Beatles 65 just to see how it sounds, and that's for sure.
I'm thinking about just going in order. I'm going to get the Beatles second album next. Then was something new next, or was it early Beatles? I can't remember the order. Yeah. Early Beatles 65.
So Manny's baffled by the Beatles box being more expensive than the Doors box.
It's because you get the Beatles story, is why.
Because you get
that's worth $100.
$80 record right here. But what Terry's saying here, he says, I have like 6 different pressings of the Beatles story. I've never listened to it. Well, that's what I was telling you guys. This one here, I can't. This record, the second record, it's stuck inside. See this? I can't get it out. I've never opened it up before. I'm not sure why, but it will not. I'm using. Like right now, I cannot get this thing out. It's absolutely stuck.
You may have to open the gatefold, and it's probably stuck in the corner.
There we go. Hang on.
Yeah, if you open the gatefold.
There you go. I've never played this before. So this is.
I wouldn't check. I sold mine a long time ago. I don't even have it.
There we go. And it's all cap. Oh, it's the. There we go. It's the purple Capitol.
Oh, it's 80s.
Look at that. Brand new. Looks like
late 70s, early 80s. Yeah.
I think it's 80. I think I got this in 83.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, and I think I've obviously never listened to it, but yeah. So I'm excited now. Now it doesn't motivate me enough to go and buy the whole box. Like I said, I've got a lot of different copies behind me of of the Beatles and mono. Of course, the UK. I don't know. I think Beatles 65 for now, and then I haven't decided on what other one I want. I don't know. I'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna slowly get them all.
You think so? Yeah.
I'm gonna go in order. Beatles second album, and I'll go from there.
Oh, hang on. What's Easy Now saying? Does that have an HTM in the dead wax? Is he asking about the Beatles record?
Well, that would have been Harry Moss, right? That would have been a UK pressing.
Yes.
Which version is he asking about?
And then Mike, and then we're Harry T. Moss. So yeah, so that would have been from years ago. And then I saw something here. I won't get. Well, Leland's asking about. Did you get the Green Day American Idiot?
I didn't, but we did a video last week with my friend Ed DeVito at Audio Ultra, and he purchased one, and we listened to it on a really nice high-end system, and it sounded great. I still want to get one eventually. I haven't gotten it yet. This is my priorities. Yeah.
I like what Philip's saying. I'd rather have a straight hot in quotations reissue of Introducing the Beatles. What's it say? Reveille's saying, Steve, I doubt you'll be impressed. Let's remember this is a grainy in a whole mono.
Speaking of the Beatles, did I tell you, Steve, that I recently ordered a 1985 cut that was cut by Harry Moss of Abbey Road that somebody recommended to me?
I remember you telling. You got a good deal on that too, right?
I paid about 50 or 60 for it.
So tell the folks at home.
Yeah. So again, I did a video on the original Abbey Road for Audio Ultra, and somebody in the comments told me that in 1985 Harry Moss cut it again.
Does it say his initials HTM?
Yeah, his initials are in there. And side A, I'm trying to see this. I'm in the dark. Yeah, it says HTM. So he cut it in 1985, and I'm trying to see the dead wax info. It's so hard to see here because I'm not. Side B is a -4. And side A is a -6. So side A is -6.
Hold it up for a second.
Really clean, yeah.
So those 1985 pressings, so the Parlophone Beatles 85, the 85 specifically, and the Abbey Road UK 85. Yeah. I bought all of them through Better Records years ago, and they're all 1985 hot cuts.
Yeah,
same as that
really,
one.
So the vinyl is really quiet too.
I have that one as well, and so I got them through Tom Porter Better Records years ago. They're all 85s. I'm trying to
figure out.
Every single one of them.
In 1985, these were cut at EMI, which is now Abbey Road. I was trying to figure out if they used DMM or not. And Miles Scholl told me there would be a D stamped in there if they were DMM. I don't think they're DMM.
No.
Digital direct metal masters. So they were cut to lacquer. But this sounds fabulous. I've only played it twice so far, but I need to hear it again and compare it. So the vinyl was much quieter in 85 than in 1969.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We know what's happened with Rhino. Any of the Rhino box sets, eventually they'll come out with individual ones. That's the way it works. Again, they're a big record company. They're not going to limit themselves to just selling 2,000 or 3,000 copies of something. They want to make as much money as possible, baby. So yes,
and frankly, let's be honest. If you're going to make 3,000 copies, you wouldn't even make your money back having Kevin Gray cut them, and you know what I mean. It would. And
then Bruce Botnick's there. They're going to have. He's probably charging a fee as well.
Yeah. It's not going to. You're going to lose money. They're going to come out as individual titles.
So Cranberry, the ones I got years ago, the UK Parlophone Beatles that I got from Better Records were all 1985 cuts, and including my Abbey Road was a Harry Moss cut from 85 as well. They sound fantastic. I was blown away when I first got those. Like, wow, there's a big difference here.
Lots of detail, I noticed. Yeah.
Definitely lots of detail, but I think that's really cool that the Beatles box set and all those Beatles albums are hot cuts now. The next set of hot cuts, that's great.
Yeah.
And then I saw something here, DMM cuts, Steve? ? So no, they're not DMM.
They're not. I just checked. No. Yeah, Miles told me there would have been a D stamped in there.
They're not. They're actually just cut from the lacquer. There's no DMM.
Yeah.
I saw something here. Someone was sorry, I'm all over the place. It's hard. I got distracted here. I probably missed it now. Someone has asked me a question. Oh, geez. Cranberry sauce. I ordered Doors box in the studios. Hopefully it'll arrive soon. My Doors box finally gets to me on Wednesday. So, here it is. Someone was asking about Dookie. That's what I was looking for. Okay, changing the topic just quickly. Dookie by Because Sound Matters. We had Levi Seitz who mastered lots of Because Sound Matters cuts. He's not doing this one. Obviously, it's direct from tape. One step it'll be Chris Bellman. Yeah, sometime in January, probably later January for that one.
But somebody brought up the Stooges. This is a fantastic sounding issue. I gotta tell you guys, really one of my favorite sounding Rhino High Fidelities. Actually, I was blown away.
Oh, really?
It sounded. Yep.
So really what did you? Nice okay, so what did you hear? Like, what was it that you heard?
Just lots of clarity, lots of low end, and I have the other issue that was cut at Takeout Vinyl. I have that one too, but this is just off the charts good. I would definitely recommend this if you haven't picked this up yet.
85 Abbey Road. Do you want to put the Discogs?
I can try to find it and put. Yeah, I can try to find it while we're talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so Christopher, I will tell you, you just ordered it. So they're going through 3,000 plus orders, not just the Doors box, but everything else is going on. You got your order number. They'll get to it. I promise you. I'm sorry. Still no shipping from the Doors website. So I need to read that a little bit. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I would have always bought off the Rhino site if I was buying it. Yeah. Just because I don't trust it, right? Otherwise. And then Cranberries, the one Stooges from Rhino, I ordered it. I got the OG decades ago. Yeah. And then John's asking about release dates. I don't know if I've missed a question ahead, but he's asking anything about Flaming Lips, Mike T, Because Sound Matters one step. When Grover was on, he doesn't have a timeline for any of that stuff. I do know. I think he's landed a pretty big a deal for a specific artist, and that will be interesting going into the new year as well. So that'll be fun for Because Sound Matters.
Yeah, unfortunately, it won't let me post the link. I tried to Discogs for the Beatles Abbey Road 85. So,
and it's UK. I'll see if I can find it here.
Just type in UK 1985, and yeah.
So the UK 1985, and it's Abbey Road. See if I can probably share the screen if I can find it.
Yeah, I have mine up. Actually, here it says released 1984, which is odd. I thought it was 85.
Oh, weird.
HTM, yeah. 7th pressing in print between 84 to 91.
Released in 84. Is that
yeah.
I'm probably looking at the same
80,
one.
Yeah, and there's 3 variants. I have mine up. If I can share my screen, I can show it.
Here, I can get it. Hang on.
Okay.
Let's do this here. I'm curious to know now. So yeah, I'll see this here. Share my screen so everyone can see it as well. Okay. Let me know if you can see that.
I can't see it yet. Nope.
Did it come? Okay. Yes?
Now I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. That takes it some time.
Let's see if...
So I'm going to go down here. And so here we go. So Harry Moss cut HDM in and run out from original analog tapes. There you go. 7th pressing in print between 84 and 91. I have this one
Me
as well.
Too. They're all -6-4.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. So that's what I can probably do as well. I'm going to do this. I'll copy and paste the Discogs website thing here in.
Mine wouldn't let me post it, so maybe you try.
In the comments here. Does it not let you do it?
It said failed
on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's hang on. Probably doesn't let me either. Oh, hang on. See if that works. Did that work? There it is.
Yeah, so you could it showed. Steve's
I have this copy as well. This is and this was a Better Records pressing for years. So this is the one that you want. And it doesn't. How much are they? They're not overly expensive, are they?
Now, most of them are in the UK, so you're probably paying $35 for shipping.
Well, here we go. So look at this. So £14, 60 more for shipping, £18, $13.
But you know what? That's a G. You don't want the G plus copy.
Well, I know. I'm just going down. Sorry. I would obviously if you're gonna bite the bullet, you're gonna have to buy from. It looks like the UK VG plus minimum. Mine's definitely a VG plus. So you're looking at around the $40 British pounds plus shipping. So it's a $60 record.
Yeah.
There you go. VG plus and up. That's what you want to. Don't waste time with the VG. Don't try to save money and be cheap. That's for sure. But like I said, the 85, those are the ones that Tom Port was selling for the longest time. Good cuts.
Yeah.
And same as the BC 13s, John. That's absolutely right. Or 84, 85 cuts.
I know it's kind of frustrating, but artists like Beatles, Zeppelin, Floyd, I think we're done with the analog cuts. They're all,
That was
they're
from the
done.
master. But going back to it, I mean, it even says it in the run in the release page on Discogs. I mean, it says it directly
It
here when I
was,
put it
yeah,
up.
but
It says
nowadays, yeah, they're all digital
Harry Moss
nowadays.
cut from original analog tapes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Amazing.
That's
Like
why
you're
they're worth
getting
paying for.
that's worth getting, guys. If you want a fresh and nice Abbey Road, and that one sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Scott Wheeler was saying, I don't trust anything less than mint minus or near mint. VG seems to be wide open. It is a wide open interpretation.
Yep.
I've had a few issues, but not really. But I think something like an Abbey Road, you're getting a Harry T. Moss from the analog tapes, Abbey Road. Bite the bullet if you're a huge Beatles fan. You won't be disappointed. It's a great sounding one. All those 84, 85, like the BC Box 13 sets sound great. Amazing stuff. And then, well, if you got the 69 originally UK, yeah, I can understand that. That's a good one too. Reveille, yeah, the BC 13, awesome, exactly. But those are the ones.
Yeah. What is BC 13?
That's the box set. There's a box set that came out. Yeah, that's the box set that came out in 84, 85. So
okay. Yeah.
Who was I saw that? We always go back to this Loper. No, we need a AAA Zep.
I know.
And I talked to Patrick Milligan at Rhino. I mean, like, Patrick, let's just we need to do the Led Zeppelin AAA. He's go, that's my dream, Steve. I wish. Can't happen. I don't think Jimmy Page wants to be one up by Kevin Gray. I think it's an ego thing at this point. Look, I mastered mine in 2016. This guy can't do better. Why would, you know what I mean?
They're the definitive cuts. Yes.
So if they were to do it, what do you think the number would be if they did the entire Led Zeppelin box set, AAA, Rhino Hi-Fi, cut by Kevin Gray? How many boxes do you think should be? I think 30,000? Because Steely Dan Asia was 30,000. So I think 30,000 is the number. I really do. Well, money talks, but I mean, they had so much money. I mean, you got to think about it, guys. When they do concerts, that's where the real money is. Selling a record, they're not getting a lot of this money. That's the thing. It's not a big deal for them financially compared to going and doing it. Someone writes you a check to, hey, sing for 2 hours, Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. They get a $5 million check. They're not getting anywhere near that for selling 30,000 records. This is not.
They're probably getting more from all the billions of streams they get than they would from vinyl.
Yeah. So Dominic, yeah, BC 13's awesome, guys. All analog, not remastered or remixed. That is incredible sets. And again, I have them all as well. The 84, 85 cuts, incredible. 50,000, he's saying. Yeah, I was saying 30. So when I was having my conversation with Patrick Milligan, I was like, yeah, well, 30 minimum. Look at Steely Dan Asia. They did 30, right? I think the rest of those UHQRs are 20, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, they would sell. Of course, they would sell. Absolutely. But anyone else have the Doors? Put some comments here. I want to hear more about what your thoughts were on the Doors.
I have not heard anybody compare them to 2012.
Well,
I want to know, how do they sound? Yes.
And going at if you guys missed it at the top, of course, it's hard to do an A/B when you're comparing a 45 RPM versus a 33 RPM. You got Doug Sachs mastered in 2014. You got a Kevin Gray in 2024. Two different mastering chains, different equipment. We know Kevin's upgraded every year. He's got the best equipment in the business right now. So I don't know. Hot cuts, yeah. Well, the Beatles box mono set is they're hot cuts. Fun. Mine comes Wednesday. I get my Doors box Wednesday. Mazzy got his, yep. Good question. Did I get my classic record Zep 2? I was so excited because I got Canada Post Strike. If you don't live in Canada, we don't get a lot. Everything's really complicated right now. It's taken forever. Josh had sent to me using FedEx. I got a notification saying it was coming Monday, which is today, and it was supposed to come at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and then it got some sort of delay. Oh, I was really hoping all weekend when I got this that I could show you guys my classic records Zep 2 with the Sharpie on it today, but that's not happening. Apparently, it's being delayed, and we'll have to do it again after. Well, I'm going to have Bruce Botnick on next week. So, and if you guys are running late, I know there's been a lot more that have joined. Just want to make that announcement. What's coming up? We have a big December coming up here, December 6th. 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's not live, just so everyone knows it's not live. I'm having Kevin Gray and, of course, Bruce Botnick, the Doors engineer, on the show with Patrick Milligan. If you've got questions, Steve Westman at rocketmail.com. I put my email in the chat as well. Can't answer. I obviously won't be able to ask all the questions. There's a few I'm, of course, going to answer, such as what happened to the master tape of the Doors self-titled, et cetera, all that stuff. And, you know, Bruce is the gatekeeper. Botnick is the gatekeeper of those tapes. So I'm curious to know sort of, you know, what he's listening for when Kevin's cutting, right? I mean, again, that's sort of like artist intent. I mean, he was part of that. And then later on, before Christmas, back by popular demand, the one and only Steve Hoffman. We're talking Steve Hoffman's top vinyl picks. And we're going to have a conversation on the future of audiophile remastering and the master tape. All coming up in December, Michael. And Miles Scholl from Abbey Road Studios will be coming on as well. It's just like, I'm exhausted thinking about this. There's a lot going on. So
that is
put your seatbelt on, Michael. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I saw, Steve, I forgot to mention this, when I was in record stores this past weekend, the New Orders were out on the shelves. Remember how New Order albums were coming back out?
Yeah.
But I haven't heard about who cut them or who pressed them.
That's so New Order was Rhino. I'll find. How about I find out?
They're only about $18.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll find out for you.
Discogs. Yeah.
Moab's saying, so guys, the Soft Parade track is stunning. It should be a test track, he's saying. So, and you know the Doors. I mean, you've been listening to the Doors, Mohab, for 40 plus years, right? You've been. I mean, you know, you had written something in the Rhino Hi-Fi page, and I read it out here today, beginning of it, and you know, lovely review of that. So I mean, this guy knows his Doors. So yeah. There he is. I haven't. That's Kevin, I believe. Kevin, he was with me when I had less than 100 subs, and I remember that. Kevin, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Someone send Steve Hoffman the Doors box set. Would be interesting to hear what he thinks. I could send him mine, but I mean that would be $1 million. I can't do it. Not doing that, especially with this postal strike. But I will be asking Steve Hoffman, I mean, hey, tell us about your Doors process, DCC, right? I mean, is that my understanding? Did he have the original tape versus Kevin's safety tape for this cut? Is that the difference?
Back then, who knows? Yeah.
Does anyone know? Because I'm going to ask him.
Well, you know what? I remember Hoffman saying that he actually got...
well, we're going to find out when he comes on.
I remember him saying he got multi-track masters for some of them, and he was going to remix them, but then they didn't approve it.
But Hoffman remixed Light My Fire, I want to say, didn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He did some remixes. Hey, by the way, I'm looking up the New Order I was talking about. They were pressed at Optimal, and they were cut by a guy named Frank Arkwright, who works at
so I don't
Abbey
have to ask.
Road.
Okay. There you go.
He works at Abbey Road.
So Miles Scholl will know that fella.
Yeah, and press at Optimal. The 12-inch Abbey Road.
Christopher, I don't know anything to do with how Rhino does their business, so I would assume they're going to keep on pressing and whatever's in press between the Rhino Grunman's in prints for the Doors and the new box set. I mean, they'll just keep rolling. I don't know. Hi, Noah. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Kevin Gray is a new Ludwig. There you go. Yeah, what did I see? John Loper here is saying Kevin's mastering is why they are so good. So that is the thing, right? In A/B, Kevin's chain versus the late Doug Sax's chain, 45 RPM, which is the Doug Sax AP Doors cut versus the Kevin Gray 33. I don't know.
Yeah. Which New Order titles? I believe I'm looking.
Bizarre Love Triangle, the self-titled New Order, and
they're 12-inch singles. That's why they're only $18. Yeah. I looked them up.
But I will say, New Order, the Smiths, Joy Division, Echo and the Bunnymen, these are all box sets. These are all records that I know Rhino Hi-Fi would love to do. Something they're looking into. Someone's asked me, Noah, did you see my question? Just put it up. It's hard to follow all these questions, Noah.
There's so many comments, yeah.
So if you want to just put it in right now, I didn't see the question. I don't want to be distracted, but yeah. But the Beatles Capitol hot cuts, I love that. I'm excited to get some of mine. That would be great. Yeah, this is an interesting one, Glenn. I know, we know Kevin uses his whole tube setup for his his coherent sound recordings of Kristen Edkins, of course, right? And he used the whole tube set for it was the War's greatest hits. I'm not sure why he can't use it for the Doors or why he just used his regular stuff. I don't know the answer. Maybe that's something I will ask him as well. Or maybe that's what Bruce Botnick wanted. I don't know. Did Noah, hang on. Is this Noah's question here? Do you think the Beatles box set will be released in CD in the future? Michael?
I have no idea. I haven't heard about CDs being released.
No, I don't know. Right? That would be funny. Leland wants to send Steve Hoffman a Billie Eilish album on that Echo vinyl or Eco vinyl. But yeah, Hoffman did remix Light My Fire. Have you heard the Light My Fire UK single in 95, Steve? Remixed by Paul Rothschild. No, the bass is stunning on that one. I have not heard that one. But I thought Hoffman did a remix of Light My Fire, Michael, if I'm not mistaken.
I know he had multi-track masters, so
That's what
I don't know what
yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, again, I don't know Kevin's I'm not going to go there and say, why didn't you do this, Kevin? That's not up to us. I mean, we're still getting some damn good sounding records from Kevin Gray these days. Hot. That's for sure. And there's going to be 2 more Rhino Hi-Fi albums coming out in January as well, just so you guys know.
Someone is asking if I've noticed any distortion on my new pressing of Meet the Beatles. I personally have not.
Distortion? I haven't
Because
read
of
that
the
anywhere.
because of the loud cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might be equipment sort of subjective to your equipment and your setup.
Yeah. And I'm using an Audiophile Cadenza black cartridge and this a wand carbon fiber 12-inch tone arm, so very unlikely to hear distortion with that.
Huh. Well, I can't give you hints on the next one at all. That would be bad.
Well, are they in January or December or when?
There's January. 2 more coming out in January.
Yeah. The thing with the Beatles, you guys, the sides are only 13 minutes, so they can cut really loud. And I mean, you're cutting 13-minute sides.
Yeah.
It's almost like 45 RPM.
A lot of space on that disc, right, to do that. So that it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Rock albums. How's that? No country. Rhino rock albums for January. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. They're both rock albums?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on. So Todd, and welcome Todd. I haven't recognized your name before. So he has a Riga P3. He says all my 11 seems to be have more distortion than my 64 mono cut, both played on the same turntable. Is what he's saying.
Yeah. I didn't use a mono cartridge for my new one because it was cut left right. It wasn't cut with it was cut with a stereo cutter head.
Do you have a mono cart? Yeah.
I do have one. It's a little lower price, about a $400 cartridge. It's Soundsmith Otello. But I usually use my Cadenza Black, which is a $3,000 cartridge.
Good night, Harry. Sleep well. Thanks for joining. That's the thing. What are your thoughts on if you've got a mono cut? Do you need to always change it to a mono cart? I mean, is it?
I mean, that's the big controversy. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was at the down at the Hi-Fi Center in downtown Vancouver, I think it's called the Griffin amps, and there's a button on there for a mono op.
Mono, I've seen that.
So when I was doing my shootouts of the mono ERC Doors that I have, you just press the button. It's perfect.
Yeah, and I do have a DSP phono preamp made locally, Parks Audio. It's called the Waxwing. It has a mode called Super Mono where you can use a stereo cartridge and it samples left, right, center, and picks the best signal in real time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been meaning to review it, but I haven't had time. So
John saying ultrasonic those Beatles if you own them. So yeah, did you do a good cleaning?
I did that. Yeah, I have a Kermis Audio, and I did clean it, and I used this process. They were cut with a stereo cart, correct? ERC is the only company currently doing mono cutter heads. Yeah, Parks Audio Waxwing is amazing. I actually have it right down here.
Yeah,
it's hard to see. There it is. Can you see it?
Right there.
It's hard. Yeah, there it is. Right there. Hard to see. Anyway, made here in Poulsbo, Washington. Yep, it is amazing.
If Patrick Milligan's watching, Tall Freak wants the Luna Penthouse. Definitely not something that's on their sites, I can tell you that. Well, Noah, I don't know if they'll lower that. They might next year, depending.
You never know. It's cheaper just to buy the 5 records. Is it 5 records that are just $30 each?
Then you don't need the.
I mean, it's what you don't need
the $80 Beatles story.
The 5 records are $29.99. So for $150, whatever it is, or $180, whatever it is, it's totally worth just yeah.
So it's saying here, Todd is saying, thanks, Michael T. and John. Oh, I went.
Yeah, you were getting blurry there for a second.
I got blurry for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, you're back now.
I have not cleaned the new record other than with an anti-static brush. So
yeah.
New Lana, like is
Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey, May 21.
Yeah, she's done a. Did you know she did a cover of John Denver's "Take Me Home, Country Roads"?
Yeah.
It's going to be on the record. It's fantastic. I'm a big Lana Del Rey fan.
Yeah, I still like Norman effing Rockwell. That's my favorite album of hers.
Yeah, I love that one too. That one was pressed at NPO, and mine has a little bit of non-fill on it, but that's still a great sounding record. I think cut by Jolene Ahern at Sterling Sound.
Oh, really?
That one. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I like that.
Yeah. Why do I have this stuff memorized? Am I just a geek?
It's fine. That's why we love you.
What's wrong? What's wrong with us?
So the Meet the Beatles, going back, so we've learned that tracks 1 and 3 of Meet the Beatles, the new Mono Capitol cut that just came out, I Want to Hold Your Hand and This Boy, are the only true mono cuts on that album. The other tracks are all fold downs from the stereo tracks, right?
Yeah.
Does it say that on somewhere on there? How do
I should look? There's a fold out. But who exactly was this Dave Dexter guy? Why was he given the job of adding reverb?
I think he was just. I think he was. I don't know the full story. Maybe someone has it.
There's a whole thing in here that talks about it.
Okay.
I see his name in here.
I mean, he was obviously the go-to guy at the time for Capitol. Maybe during the Frank Sinatra time. I don't know. I'm guessing this. I have no idea. And so we know Capitol did all the Frank Sinatras, and then all of a sudden these Beatle guys show up, and Dexter's, obviously was cutting a lot of records for Capitol prior to December 63 for other artists. So maybe he was just the go-to guy.
Yeah,
just like Kevin Gray, the go-to guy for Rhino. I don't know.
There's a whole essay in here about how royalties were calculated differently in the U.S. Versus U.K. and why they chose to put 12 versus 14 cuts.
Well, I like it when you if you watch a Beatles concert on YouTube when they're in the United States or North America, Paul will say this song is on the second album that was here, but the first it's funny.
I'm reading the notes. It says tracks 1 and 3 on side 1 are pure mono mixes. All other tracks are fold down mixes made by Capitol's Lee Minkler from Stereo Masters on December 19th, 1963.
Yeah.
Mono albums mastered by Billy Smith on December 19th, 1963. They rushed to get that out. Everything was done on December 19th, 1963.
Cranberry Sauce says he was Capitol's guy in charge and thought that would make it better for American ears. So makes sense.
I've never heard of cutting engineer Billy Smith. Have you?
No, the only Billy Smith that I know is the goalie for the New York Islanders, Billy Smith, that won 4 Stanley Cups.
Now I got to do some research. Who is Billy Smith and what did he do for Capitol?
You're going to be geeking out all night, man.
That's going to be hard to find, yeah.
Well, we did it. We did it. Another hour. Guys, we'll leave it at that. I am pumped to get my Beatles Mono Capitol. These hot cuts are going to be great. And excited about that for sure. And so what other ones did you order?
I'm just going to go. I'm going to pick up probably the Beatles' second album over this weekend. I'm just going to go one at a time.
There's a Beatles 64 documentary this Friday. I won't have time to watch that.
Is that on?
Is that the Disney thing?
Probably Disney. I'm guessing. Yeah. The only one I'm kind of leery about getting is Hard Day's Night because I don't care for the half.
No, I mean I have
the side of mono instrumental music.
No one's going to listen to the second side. Let's be honest with you. Let's be honest. Come on. Yeah. It's going to be on Disney this Friday. The Beatles 64. It's coming to Disney. I'll watch it at some point, but yeah, it's Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese made that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next couple weeks, hot shows you're talking about here. Yeah. Tune in, guys. December 6th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, not live Audiophile Roundtable, but I'll download it. I'll post it on the channel. Bruce Botnick, Doors engineer Kevin Gray, who engineered the Doors Rhino Hi-Fi box set, will join myself and Patrick Milligan for a conversation about that process. And then we're having Miles Scholl on sometime, Abbey Road Studios, in the next week or two. And then, of course, just before Christmas, Steve Hoffman's coming back on to round out the year here at the Audiophile Roundtable. And that one will be live, so get your questions ready. We'll do Steve Hoffman's vinyl picks, and we're going to be talking master tapes and audiophile mastering. So it should be a lot of fun. But yeah,
Now,
hit that thumbs up button. I should tell everyone at the very beginning to do that. I always forget.
Yeah, someone said that. Yeah. Now, if these are all going to be hot shows, they're going to be boosting the EQ and turning the volume way up loud for us, so they track properly on my laptop.
I hope so. I'll make sure they're cut hot. I will do that. No worries. Well, you know what, guys, my American friends, you guys have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And Michael, you too, okay? And enjoy your family, and everyone enjoy your family. I know we talk a lot of first world problems here. I mean, we know there's lots going on, and I think we're all just very lucky to be having to talk about these first world problems and have these problems to talk about when there's probably bigger things going on in the world. So I appreciate everyone. Happy Thanksgiving to my American friends. Enjoy the football games. Even if the Cowboys quarterback, their other quarterback, doesn't play, the Giants still won't win. So that's how I see that happening. So it's impossible. I think the Giants are cursed. They're not going to win again this year. But happy Thanksgiving, Michael. Thank you for everyone. My Americans, thank you as well. Someone's saying the stream is freezing. I'm not seeing that freezing on my side, but I don't know.
People are commenting. I don't think it's freezing yet.
No, I don't think so. But anyways, guys, hit the thumbs up. Good night. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, guys.
Till next time, December 6th. Come tune in. Bruce Botnick, Kevin Gray. Should be a good one. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.